You guys seem to enjoy the environment in Memorial Coliseum yesterday. You shot the ball really well. Just talk about how familiar you are with that or how comfortable you are with that particular arena, and can you carry that over to tomorrow?
I like the feel of the arena. It's pretty small, so it just seems very intimate with the crowd and just all of us players. It was a lot of fun yesterday, and we're looking forward to carrying it on to tomorrow.
Yeah, I think we've gotten really used to it, being in practicing and shoot around in it, and we felt good. Got a lot of shots up yesterday and the day before that, so we got a good feel for the arena.
Tayrn, Zai, would you talk a little bit about the motivation you had for this year? How much did last year's loss, even though it's 365 days ago, with Colorado, how much did that motivate you going into this year's tournament?
I think it really motivated us. We remember what we felt when we walked off the court that day, and we felt like we just let our fan base down on our home court, so we really wanted to make sure that this year it was a different turnaround, and we came out from the jump and kept our foot on the gas the whole time.
Yeah, I think Sai said it pretty well. It's extremely motivating to go out like that, especially on your home court. So we want to do the same to Kentucky tomorrow, right? They do it to you. You next year turn it around. So we're looking forward to it.
Caroline Mikowskis, Lexington Herald Leader. From both of you, if possible, obviously your team is. Are we good? Okay, thanks. Your team has a lot of really, really explosive guards, you two included. Can you talk about what you're looking forward to in what will be probably a really exciting guard matchup tomorrow? Preparing for the Kentucky backcourt.
Yeah, we're really excited. We put in a lot of work this season. So to be able to compete with a great team like Kentucky, we're just so excited and can't wait to show that, we are capable of competing with some of the best teams in the country. And it's something we've known we're capable of doing. And we've worked so hard throughout the summer and this season to do it. So we're excited to just show what we can do.
Yeah, like you said, very talented team, especially at the guard position. But I think we are as well, so I think we play together really well, and yeah.
Hi, y'all. Tamika Catchings, ESPN. When you look at the leadership on your team, and, we've heard a lot from your leaders, right, Sundell and Lee, what have they brought to your team, and as you've come into this tournament, how have they used past motivation maybe to help you guys with this experience?
Yeah, for sure. They're, like you said, very experienced. They've been through a lot throughout their career, so they've passed down knowledge from just everything they've gone through in their journey here, and so we want to use what they've learned to carry on to throughout this tournament.
Yeah, they've given us a little rundown of their past experiences in the tournament, and I'm just taking all the information I can, all the knowledge I can from them, and then I just motivated this year for them because it's their last year, and we want to be able to go as far as we can for them.
Zai, your experience in being able to shut down Caitlin Clark a couple of different times, how much will that help you, or is it completely different when you're facing Amor coming up tomorrow?
I would say they're different players, so I think it will be different. Caitlin's a little bigger, Amor's a little smaller, faster, and I'm excited to be able to match up with her. Great player, going to be in the WBA, so I'm just taking it as a great opportunity for me to be able to see where I match up with that.
Just to piggyback off of that, just from the defensive mentality, what goes through your mind as you prepare for Caitlin Clark, for Georgia Amor?
Just know that you're not going to be able to completely shut them down. Great players like that, you just got to try to contain them, and that's just my mindset. I want to control what kind of shots I want them to be able to take. So I'm going to do my best to get them where I want them to be, make them a little bit uncomfortable, and that's all you can do, and just hope that the ball doesn't go in the basket for them.
WYMT here in the back. On offense, now that you guys have a Yoka lead back as well, how much does it help the dynamic of opening up opportunities for everybody else as well and making it even to guard you guys?
Yeah, I mean, having Yoki back, it's huge for us. We're super pumped to have her back. She just makes everything so much easier for the rest of us. When she can get going, people have to sink in and double team her, so that opens up the outside, and we just flow really well together.
Yeah, having Yoki on the court, I think it opens up a lot of shots for our shooters, and also opens up a lot of cuts for us. And we know they're going to stay glued to Yoki, so it also can open up driving lanes as well. So it's great to have her. It just makes our offense flow a lot better.
Any other questions for our student athletes? All right, ladies, you can be dismissed.
Thank you.
All right, we'll open it up for questions for the head coach.
Obviously, everything for Kentucky starts with Amor. Without giving away the game plan, obviously, how do you try to slow her down or keep her from getting the ball or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's a good question. Her usage rate in the pick and roll game is as high as anybody we've seen in the country. Probably her and Van Lith in terms of the usage rate. It's over 40%. So when you analytically look at how many pick and rolls you're going to have to defend, that's just her, They run it for others as well. Their backcourt, as you mentioned, is really, really talented. So, I don't think you're certainly not gonna stop her. I think you've got to find your places to pick to contain her. You've got to, within your defensive system, play to your strength as best that you can. And then you've got to maybe give her different looks, and that's something that I think is kind of an in-game thing too, to see what kind of looks maybe is best for you. So, she's a very talented player, and so she does. You're right. I mean, it starts with her. She sets the table for a lot of them, but she's very good. So I don't have all those answers, but I will say that certainly we know that the pick and roll game for them is very, very good. They've got all the pieces to run it really well, and Kenny does a good job with it. I wish Kenny was coming off the pick and roll instead of Amor.
Sure, we could get that to happen.
Yeah, sure. He
might have
probably wishes
eligibility
I
left.
was doing some things out there too.
Coach Kevin Fielder from EMA Online. You mentioned Georgia, Serena on your team as well. With the amount of good point guards in college basketball right now, how important is it to have one that can sort of do everything, score, play defense at a high level, but also play make for others?
Well, I think when you get to this time of the year, most teams have a pretty good one. Now there's that next level, and that's what we're talking about with, when you're talking about Georgia or you're talking about Serena, there's another level of success. There's another level of where they've taken their team to. So, you've got to have a leader out there that gets your team directed. You've got to have a player that you can go to in crunch time, and both of us have that.
On the topic of Serena, it seems like her scoring has sort of increased ever since Aoka went out. Was that sort of a concerted effort to try and get her to score a little bit more, or was that just the natural consequences of not having Lee out there?
Well, both. You know, when we've had enough balance in our scoring all year that the shots weren't going to be distributed to one player, but certainly with Lee getting, I don't remember how many shots she was averaging, but let's say 15 to 20, and we wanted to get her that many touches. Those touches are going to be distributed, and certainly Serena is going to get some of those. Now, the concerted effort on our part was to move her around as much as we could and see where that gravity, you've heard me say this numerous times about the gravity of where the defense is drawn to and how can you play off of that. Well, certainly without Lee, we lost some of that gravity. And so Serena became some of that in other areas of the floor, and we were able to play off of that. And so some of that was scoring, some of that was distribution as well.
Caroline Mikowskis, Lexington Herald Leader. Coach, we heard your players talk about, the importance of having that experience in Aoka, in Serena. Your perspective, how helpful is that type of experience, particularly in really talented players when it comes to March? Yeah.
It's important. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you've had to go through it. You've had to. You want it to be helpful. You want the baton to be passed, those experience. How do you learn from them? Certainly Aoka Lee has been in this environment, has been in these kind of games throughout her career. Serena Sundell. Zy and Tayrn, who were up here earlier, are still young in their career. They've been in a lot of big games, but every experience certainly helps.
Armando Berry, WYMT. Coach, you guys have a lot of length on your team, and then offensively you're playing against a team that obviously also has a lot of length in UK and is one of the best blocking teams in the country. How do you feel like that matchup pairs up that we're going to see on Sunday?
Yeah, they're big. There's no doubt about it. They're as big as any team we've played all year. And you talk about the length, but they can put out a lineup of 6'7", 6'5", 6'4", and they will. And they'll certainly play the two bigs at times together. And so they're, I think, very talented that way. You're not going to have many wide open shots. That's one of the things that we try to do at our end. We don't want to give wide open shots. We want to keep our length in front as best we can and force those contested jumpers. So, I expect this game will be a lot of contested shots. I expect this game will be who can make the most contested shots, and certainly Kentucky will be a challenge at their end, and we hope that we're a challenge at our end, because you're right, we have the same, we have pretty good length as well, and with Lee back in, that's a difference for us defensively. It vastly different. Yesterday's game had really the size difference of the two teams, right? There's not really a whole lot you can take from our game yesterday to what's going to be tomorrow's game. But yes, both teams have good size, and certainly Kentucky is one of the bigger teams in the country.
Any other questions for our head coach? Okay. Oh, we have one from the Zoom.
I thought we were going to get away with it.
Arn has showed up every time. He's got questions. There you go, Arn.
Yeah, Arnie Green from Topeka Capital Journal. I think I asked you a little bit about it yesterday, but Kentucky's size, I think Liberty, when they made their comeback, they got the Kentucky bigs in foul trouble. Is that just, do you need to try to attack them and force them, I guess, to defend, or is that kind of a battle of wills where you figure out what works and what doesn't?
Well, yeah, I don't think it's a big secret we're going to throw it to Lee. I don't think that's going to be any big strategical secret that's going to be part of our game plan. So, yeah, I mean, that's always going to be a part of our game plan. Liberty had the size, and they had some good inside players, and they went at that. But, you're talking, Strack's SEC Player of the Year. She's a good player. They go 6-7 after that. Silva, she's a good player. So, yeah, I think both teams are going to try to get established what they can. They'll try to establish their pick and roll game, I'm sure, and they'll try to get their guys involved. But you know what? It's not going to be just a game of it's going to be a game of the entire rosters that play in this game. There are big moments in March, and other players are going to have to step up. So, yes, we're gonna make Lee. We're gonna have Lee involved with that. But both teams, I think, are going to need both other secondary players to step up. But yeah, it'll certainly be part of our game plan to throw it to Lee.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. As a reminder, Hammond Communications will post a recording of this in the NCAA Digital Media Hub, and transcripts will be provided by ASAP shortly. Thank you for joining us. We're now concluded.
Breaking news, right, guys? Breaking news.